Welcome to How to Slackline, Bouncing Edition. Okay, my friend Josh Quinn just got his first purple surf line from Gibbon, so he's ready to start charging it, getting some lift, feeling what a slackline can really be when you're not still, when you're amplified. So first I'm just going to show some flow, and then I will explain the flow. So there's some flow. In there, I had a classic butt bounce, a pivot over the top of the rope, a pivot along the same side of the rope, butt to chest, and a butt to stand, and then a stand to butt to stand. I didn't show the stand to chest. I'll start explaining that as well in the list. Maybe I'll show it at the end. But let's go into the general principles and positions that we can be in. Okay. So the first spot I always like to start my line is how you'd start it highlining. Just as a little bonus, this is a gator roll. You put a leg up high. You gotta be able to hang, pick up, get a leg up. Whatever leg is on, put the hand closer to that leg. See if you can touch your groin to the line with your arms straight. See if you can touch your chest to the line. And then drop your leg. When you drop your leg, pull your chest up to the line. Okay, and that puts you in this thigh position where you can balance just on the thigh. And we'll switch sides. Gator roll is great, good practice, but we can just hop up like that. Our press to our thigh. Okay, so this is position number one that we're gonna be in. It's on our thigh. This allows us to do our chest lay, to roll out into the inner thigh and lay flat, draping over. If you notice here, I have 4 limbs draping down the opposite sides, so very weight distributed, low center of mass. I'm on my thigh here, not inside the groin. If you get inside the groin, it's okay. It's a lot more pressure. You can make sure you're on your thigh by putting the foot on the line, but it's less energy down. And then we can push back up from there. Position number 2 is going to be setting back and trying to pick the leg up and over. Replace the hand with the leg with the thigh. Okay, so I can be, when I'm sitting like this, I can either be on that thigh. That way I can, when I rock back, I can switch my leg with my hand and roll in. Or I can be more on my butt cheek. My back leg is my right leg, so I'm on my right butt cheek. Being on my right butt cheek is good for that open move. Where we do like a fake 180. It's just on the same side. So we push against this leg and we turn sideways. Don't grab onto the rope unless it's high enough. But we turn sideways and then sideways. sideways, and sideways. And we can touch the rope. Don't grab it though. You can touch it or touch it and help you. It's a little bit more smooth. Okay, and now we're gonna switch on to our tailbone. So I'm gonna get off of, I can be on my thigh, I can be on my butt cheek, or I can be on my tailbone. If I'm on my tailbone, that means if I'm on my right butt cheek, if I switch sides, all of my weight is on this side, so you fall. If I'm on my tailbone, I'm right in the middle. So when I switch, it's still the same. Okay, so on the top, you can switch. Yeah, at first I really recommend very little waves here. You don't want a lot, very little. Do it with balance and control. There's a lot of friction and you're heavy when you're doing that. The second you have a little bit of waves, at the top of your wave, you're always weightless as you start to drop. So right there, start recognizing that point and then switch. And switch. And switch. Then we just switch on these tops. Switch to the thigh. Switch the hand and the leg. Dropping down. Coming back up. Okay, so that's all of our ground positions. That's everywhere we can be on the ground. It's, at least for now, thigh. We can be on that thigh. We can be seated, still on the thigh. Seated on the butt. Seated on the tailbone. Okay? And then we have our same side switches from the butt cheek. Our over the rope switches from our tailbones. And our chest bounce hand replacement. Okay? We can do it in two at first. So yeah, it's a two-part move. It's a switch, next bounce, drop. Up, next bounce, switch. Okay, and then eventually when you feel more confident, you gotta do it in one. So you lift up, you shoot your hand out. Wrong spot. Of course. Once you have it with energy, it doesn't really make sense without the energy. And you're just so much heavier, and there's so much more friction. When you're up in the air, it's a lot smoother. Okay, so now we're gonna learn how to get airborne. So there's two types of waves. Lateral waves, charging like this, lift, drop, lift, drop. Okay, do it until you start getting airborne without your feet on the ground. Try to turn off your waves without touching the ground. Then there's lateral waves. One-legged kick, or longitudinal waves, sorry. One-legged kick, or we can start surfing it side to side. And we have to be on this side of the line when we're to the left, right side of the line on the left side of the line on the right. Okay, and again, whoopsies. We want to turn off our waves before we fall, like that. Okay, eventually push it to those fall zones because that's where you grow, that's where you find, oh, I didn't have balance there. But we want to sense control too. So we want to add waves and turn off waves. If you're feeling extra, throw in some longitudinal waves and some lateral waves. You can make circles, different shapes, different geometries will start coming out based on your two frequencies. Okay, next we're going to go over grounding. Grounding is touching the foot to the ground. And when I'm bouncing, I can touch, and that helps me stabilize. I can charge it more. If I can touch and stabilize, it's a dampener. Okay. You can also bounce without the foot on the ground and do coming off the ropes with no stabilization. Okay, it's a little bit trickier, but it's eventually where you want to work your way up to. And then the last one is amplification. That's going to be pushing. I would do amplification before the floating one. And that's the ability to push and push and push. And that gives you this extra height.
Oh no.
Okay? couple tips to keep your balance. It's like skateboarding down a hill, or skiing, or snowboarding down a hill. You want to keep your weight forward. If you let yourself open up like this while you're up in the air, it's gonna feel scary. So keep yourself over the line, dropping your chest down and into it. Breathing out when you hit the bottom, because you gotta pressurize, because you're extra heavy then. And then if you're gonna fall this way, over the opposite side your legs are, tuck your heel as far up and over that way as possible, and it will pull your hips this way over the line. Okay, so it's a little counterbalance if you can think of it. Otherwise, just cartwheel out. Cartwheeling out, make sure you have your cartwheel first. So it looks like this. When you hit the bottom, put your hand down, let the slack line throw your hips up into the air. Make sure you do it from a pretty low spot first, so you don't hurt yourself, and with very little energy, so your arm's not going into the ground that hard. Okay, that's your good safety way out, conserving energy instead of trying to stop it when it throws you off. Okay. And lastly, we're gonna start going and doing the bounce up to the top. For the bounce up to the top, I would first recommend setting your slack line up pretty low to a height where you can jump on top of it, jump over it, so you get that sense of landing on it with energy. You can either do a standing jump on or a running jump on. Standing jump on is better. So it simulates more of what we'd be doing instead of traversing across. Yeah, and then again, set up a low slack line first that you can basically just jump on and fake jump. Okay, or fake bounce up. So you can still use your balance, but really use your leg to jump on, like you would be doing when you just jump from the ground. I'm just gonna show it from the slack line. Okay, so the first thing we wanna do is just a touch on the top. So when we start going, when we start getting airborne, just try to touch the top and get off. Okay, another good thing to know is scoot offs. The slack line could be a good thing to show. Whoop. Okay, so when you're standing on the slack line, if I like to bounce on my right, I can point both my feet over to the right and point them off the side and roll them. And when I drop to the ground, if I bend my knees, my butt will catch the slack line. Okay, so let me show the bounce up, and I'll show the scoot off from the top. Okay, this time I'm gonna bounce up and I'm gonna land on the top. Okay, whenever we land, try to open your feet up into opposite directions. That way your knees can point out. You saw there my feet landed like this, but instantly twisted into this. Okay, you can also come here if this is where you feel better. Okay, and this time when I scoot off, I'm gonna bend my legs. And that makes me catch, so I can pop back up. Then we try to take that catch, use it as a single charge instead of multiple, and carry it back up. You can also give yourself a little pre-bounce if you feel comfortable, and then scoot off. There we go. Okay, let's do the chest drop now from standing. I like starfishing that one. And now we just scoot off the one foot, catch the hand, and we're trying to land on the thigh. Okay, and then lay out. Okay, this is what I did to give me confidence with laying out when I'm bouncing up high, because it was scary to fully lay out in the slack line. So I just started dropping from here and slowly started shooting my arms out. So I'll try to shoot my arm out faster this time. Instead of doing a thigh, then arm, I'm gonna try to just lay out onto the chest. that breaks some fears. Hopefully try to stay on. Yeah, and then, so we do all the moves with very little energy at first, barely moving. Like that. Like that. And turn. And if we can turn, we can try to make full circles. And switch directions. So basically we can be anywhere on the slack line we want to. Okay, and then you do it with a little more energy, so your butt just feels like it's coming up off the ground. Okay, and then you can do it with, oopsies. Then you can do the moves with even more energy. Okay, I'm gonna show a 2-part combo. This is the 180, the full 180. As a larger energy move. This is it as a small energy move. It's an over, turn. Turn, over. Okay? And as a larger energy move, trying to get airborne on the over. And on the turn. Okay? And then the full energy is charging high enough so when you go over, you turn and look at the other tree before you land. And that's the 180. Okay, that's got me exhausted. Have fun, be safe. Don't grab the line unless it's high enough to do some cool tricks. Maybe those tricks will come out again. Will come out soon. Be safe, have fun, bounce high. Much love.